Welcome to the deep dive. So, sequels, always a bit of a gamble.
Oh, definitely. Hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah, so today we're looking at a review of The Accountant 2. Now, the first film, you probably remember Ben Affleck as Christian Wolff.
Right, the math whiz / combat expert.
Exactly. Accountant for, well, shady people, but also kind of a vigilante. The review called the first one a glorious oddball.
That's a good way to put it. It really carved its own path, didn't it?
It absolutely did. So our mission today is to unpack this review that labels the sequel still weird, still wild, and surprisingly fun.
Okay, so what's making it tick? What's the fun part?
Well, let's dive in and see what elements from the review might, intrigue you if you're looking for something a bit different.
Sounds good. Where does the review start?
It kicks off by noting the return of the director, Gavin O'Connor, and the screenwriter, Bill Dubuque.
Ah, okay, so same creative team. That usually signals they want to keep the original vibe going.
Exactly. And the review highlights that the film seems to really lean into, maybe even amplify, those jarring tonal shifts.
You mean between the sort of awkward comedy and the really intense action stuff?
Yeah, precisely that. Like, it shifts between offbeat comedy and gritty action drama, and apparently that's still very much the defining thing here.
Interesting. So how does that play out in the plot?
Well, the review mentions Christian trying to lay low in Boise, and get this, he's awkwardly navigating speed dating.
Speed dating Christian Wolff, wow.
I know. And apparently using some matchmaking algorithm, too. It sounds like that same kind of quirky humor, watching this super intense guy try to do normal things.
Which I guess makes the contrast even bigger when he gets pulled back in.
Right. Because he does get pulled back in. There's a human trafficking investigation mentioned.
Okay, so higher stakes.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
It connects back to J.K. Simmons' character, who was murdered.
Yeah.
And it brings back Cynthia Addai Robinson's federal agent character, too.
So familiar faces returning, but pushing the story forward into darker territory, maybe?
Looks that way. It's not just repeating the first film's beats, but finding, new messes for him to get into.
And what about John Bernthal, his brother, Braxton? He was a big part of the first film's twist.
Oh yeah, the review really zeroes in on that. The relationship between Christian and Braxton is apparently the emotional core this time.
Really, the core? That's unexpected for this kind of movie.
I thought so too. The review calls their bond unlikely, but oddly charming. It talks about them having these, Airstream rooftop heart-to-hearts.
What the marts? Between bone-crunching shootouts, I imagine.
Huh. Probably. It's that juxtaposition again, right? The intense action versus this kind of quiet brotherly connection. The review suggests it actually works, gives it some depth.
That dynamic between Affleck and Bernthal was pretty compelling, so focusing on that makes sense.
Definitely. But wait, it gets weirder.
Oh, how so?
Okay, so the review mentions a team of neurodivergent hackers.
A team of hackers?
Yeah, and they're apparently hiding out in a care facility that Christian funds.
Okay, that sounds pretty out there.
The reviewer literally uses the word bonkers, but also says it kind of fits the film's whole off-kilter energy.
So it adds to the weirdness, but maybe in a good way, providing comic relief or something.
Yeah, comic relief, and also this sense of, loyalty within Christian's strange little world. It does make you think about representation a bit, but the review mainly frames it as part of the film's unique style.
It certainly doubles down on the unconventional, doesn't it? Doesn't sound like they played it safe.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So wrapping up the review's overall take, The Accountant 2 basically just owns its strangeness.
Embraces the weird.
Totally. It apparently builds to a big brash finale, but takes a lot of unexpected turns to get there. It's definitely not painted as formulaic.
So the bottom line from the review is, who is this actually for?
Good question. It suggests that if you want something straightforward and predictable, maybe give it a miss.
Right.
But if you enjoyed the first one's genre mashing, that blend of tones, and especially the dynamic between Affleck and Bernthal,
Then you might find this sequel surprisingly fun, as the title says.
Exactly. So the key things for you to take away seem to be, 1, the sequel keeps and even amps up that unusual mix of comedy, action, and, weirdness.
2, that brother relationship gives it a surprising emotional weight amidst the mayhem.
And 3, it just fully commits to these unconventional characters and plot lines, making it stand out.
Sounds like a bit of a wild ride then.
It really does. Which kind of brings us to a final thought.
Yeah.
Does this willingness, to embrace the unexpected, maybe even the bonkers in storytelling, does that actually lead to movies that stick with you more?
That's interesting. Are the most memorable films the ones that play it safe or the ones that take those weird swings?
Something to think about, maybe. What makes a film truly stand out for you? Anyway, thanks for diving deep with us into this review today.
Yeah, good stuff.
We'll catch you on the next one.